Hi guys, welcome to episode 2 of my discussions on proposed ways forward. I've already posted one episode previously setting out what this series of videos is going to be about. So if you missed it, please go to my YouTube channel or visit my Instagram and look for episode 1. The first thing I want to talk about today is how we need to change our mindset, because I think before we can drive fundamental change in South Africa, it is important to understand the ways in which our minds, our own minds and our own mindset needs to change in order to equip us for the task ahead. The first thing that I want to say is that we need to accept the responsibility of leadership. We are the ones we have been waiting for. There is no special breed of people that are going to come and do the things we hope for or the things that we wish would happen in our country. We have to accept that responsibility. Now, I know a lot of people say, I don't want to be a politician. I don't want to change the world. There are many different facets to any society. What is needed is the mental acceptance that I can drive change in the space in which I am. What is needed, however, it is the commitment and the consistency to seek to do so. Part of the reason we find ourselves in the kind of trouble that we're in is that we have decided to outsource that responsibility of leadership and driving change to other people. And those others have profoundly disappointed us. We cannot keep trying the same thing and failing and hope to get a different result in the future. Especially now when the stakes are so high, when there's so much that is going wrong, and there are so many people that are actually suffering, not just from the actions of others, but from our own inaction. The second thing I want to say is that we must be bold and want to change really big things in a really big way. In the first episode, I spoke about how South Africa needs to change fundamentally and change and reshape and redirect all major aspects of South African life. Now, I believe that if we are looking for that kind of fundamental change, there can't be areas in which we say we're going to live untouched by change. But I think when you look at this relative to the first point I made about accepting the responsibility of leadership, we have to want to change all of the big things so that we can build momentum in the right direction. And when we do, the smaller things will begin to change. That's not to say driving the small things in order to eventually affect change does not work or is not effective. It is. But if you only do the small things without an overarching vision of where you want to go and the things that need to change, it is really difficult to only do the small things in isolation and hope to get significant change in a society. The third thing I want us to do is to quit the analysis for its own sake. When I think about all the arguments we have on social media, we listen to on the radio, we see on television, these are all arguments about analysis, about the nature and depth and seriousness of a problem and who is responsible for what. That does not take us to a solution. I think if we are taking this task seriously, the only analysis we have to be committed to is an analysis that seeks to understand the problems deeply enough in order to develop some fundamental solutions to some of the big problems we are trying to solve. It is actually the endless analysis that makes us fall prey to those who use that same analysis in order to divide us, to tell us it is not possible to have united action, to tell us that if we defeat the other, then we'll magically have a solution. I know that we've got many problems in South Africa. We have racism, we've got sexism, we have inequality, we have poverty. We need to understand those thoroughly. But the more important question is, and then what? And so that is why I believe we need to stop the analysis for its own sake and analyze in order to understand and to find solutions. I also want to say that we must believe that united action is possible. And united action is only possible if we have the same value system that we believe should be at the center of our society, should be at the center of our politics. It becomes the ethical and moral foundation of how we decide and think about the problems that we want to solve. And I think all of us should seek to have a society that is just, a society that is fair, a society that is meaningfully inclusive, such that we do not leave anybody behind. We need to found everything we do on social solidarity so that we may have economic, social, and environmental justice, among others. That united action is possible, whether one is black, white, from the northern parts of South Africa, from the Eastern Cape, from the western to the eastern parts. It's got to be possible on the basis of a clear value system to agree to unite behind one idea of justice. The last thing I want to say is that we must have and build a culture of being obsessed with success. We must succeed with the small things so that we can succeed with the big things. And we must seek success in every aspect of South African life. We must not accept mediocrity in government. We must not accept mediocrity in sports, in schools, in education, in our communities. And that means even the small things we see that are not going well, we must want to change those small things. We must seek to play a part, however small, in organizing, in agitating, in leading, so that all of those things may change. And this is the great thing about the series of things I'm going to propose in future episodes. It is that one does not need to be a politician in order to drive the change that I will be talking about. We can drive the change in the places in which we are, but it is also important that we understand how important community and country are. And that as we do what we are trying to do in the spaces in which we have been placed or we find ourselves, it must be based on a common national vision. And that's one of the things we're going to have an opportunity to talk about in this series of videos. And the last thing that I want to talk about is a repeat of what I said before, right at the beginning, which is we have to accept the responsibility of leadership and want to do big things in a really big way. Again, there are no special people that are going to come and rescue us and have brilliant solutions. All of us, informed by our life experiences, by our training, by our skills, we have the capacity to work together and to make fundamental changes in South Africa. It is otherwise not going to